Beyond Grit, the collective power of Black women entrepreneurs. Welcome to Soft Girl Era, where we explore the transformative journey from constantly grinding to finally grounding in joy, peace, softness, and self prioritization. I'm LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, and today I'm electrified to share revelations from my profound conversation with Janet Paschal, whose groundbreaking research has illuminated the extraordinary yet often invisible story of Black women entrepreneurs in America. Janet isn't just a researcher, she's a visionary architect of change. Her work has fundamentally reshaped how we understand entrepreneurial success, especially among marginalized communities. Through her relentless pursuit of truth, she's amplified voices that our economy has systematically silenced, creating ripples of transformation that extend far beyond business into the very fabric of our society. What Janet revealed challenges everything, and I mean everything, we think we know about success, resilience, and the true nature of entrepreneurial achievement. We've been fed a myth, a seductive, persistent myth that's been reinforced through countless business books, motivational speeches, and glossy magazine profiles. The myth of the individual hero's journey in business, the lone visionary who, through sheer determination and personal grit, overcomes all obstacles to claim their rightful place at the summit of achievement. It's a compelling narrative. It's also dangerously incomplete. Here's a surprising truth that Janet's research uncovered. Black women are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs in the United States. But their success isn't just about individual perseverance or exceptional personal fortitude. The real story, the one we rarely hear, the one that's been deliberately obscured, is about building ecosystems that amplify collective achievement. This revelation doesn't just nudge our understanding of success, it shatters it completely. It's not just about climbing the ladder yourself. It's about creating new ladders. It's about designing systems where access to capital, mentorship, and market opportunities are shared and multiplied within communities. The data Janet shared is striking, even shocking. Average revenues for Black women owned businesses have increased by 32.7% in recent years. This represents a powerful wave of economic growth that should be headline news. Yet persistent funding gaps remain a significant obstacle that threatens to undermine this remarkable progress. Think about that for a moment. Despite demonstrating extraordinary business acumen and market insight, these entrepreneurs face systemic barriers, including loan approval rates that are 20% lower and business failure rates that are 30% higher compared to their white counterparts. But here's what's truly remarkable. What Janet's research illuminates with crystal clarity. Despite these crushing challenges, Black women continue to reshape industries through resilience, innovation, and collective action that defies conventional wisdom about what's possible. Let me share three stories that bring this phenomenon to life. Stories that Janet documented with both statistical rigor and emotional depth. First, there's Melissa Butler, founder of the Lip Bar. Frustrated by the glaring absence of inclusive beauty products for women of color, Melissa began making lipstick in her kitchen while working on Wall Street. When she pitched her vision on Shark Tank, the investors didn't just reject her, they humiliated her. One even told her with absolute confidence to quit. Now, most entrepreneurial narratives would focus exclusively on what happened next, how Melissa persevered despite rejection. And yes, she did persevere brilliantly. She leveraged grassroots marketing via social media and direct to consumer sales. She built partnerships with major retailers like Target. Today, the Lip Bar is a multi-million dollar brand celebrated for its commitment to representation. But there's a deeper story here that Janet uncovered. Melissa didn't just build a company, she created a platform that proved niche markets serving underrepresented communities can become mainstream successes. Her achievement opened doors for countless other Black female founders in beauty. She demonstrated that belief in oneself and commitment to serving underrepresented communities can break industry barriers that seem impenetrable. The second story Janet shared with me left me speechless. Arlen Hamilton launched Backstage Capital with a mission to invest in underestimated founders, including Black women entrepreneurs in tech startups. Arlen entered venture capital without prior experience or traditional backing. She faced skepticism due to her identity as a queer Black woman outside venture capital norms. At one point, and this still astonishes me, she was experiencing homelessness while fundraising. Let that sink in. She was pitching investors during the day and sleeping on the floor of the San Francisco airport at night. But Arlen built credibility through relentless networking. She highlighted data showing overlooked founders deliver strong returns when funded equitably. Today, Backstage Capital has raised millions and invested in over 200 companies led by underrepresented groups, including dozens led by Black women. Again, we could frame this as simply an inspiring individual journey. But Janet's research reveals that Arlen's impact extends far beyond her personal success. She's become one of Silicon Valley's most influential voices, advocating for inclusion driven investing strategies. She shifted conversations around who gets funded and why in startup culture. As Arlen herself has said, my success isn't just about me, it's about creating a blueprint that others can follow and improve upon. The third story takes us beyond American borders. Rahama Wright founded Shea Yeleen International, a social enterprise empowering West African shea butter producers while building a premium skincare brand distributed across the U.S. Rahama navigated cross cultural business development between Africa and America. She faced difficulties accessing startup capital as both an immigrant daughter and young woman entrepreneur. Rather than giving up, she tapped into mission driven funding sources like grants and nonprofits instead of relying solely on traditional bank loans. She built consumer education campaigns highlighting fair trade practices. The result? Shailene has created sustainable income streams for hundreds of African producers, mostly women. The company has secured shelf space at a Whole Foods market nationwide. Rahama achieved national recognition as both an ethical supply chain innovator and advocate for global sisterhood among female entrepreneurs. Her story highlights how faith in oneself and one's broader purpose can create lasting impact at home and globally within marginalized communities. These three stories reveal something profound about entrepreneurship that we rarely discuss. True entrepreneurial acceleration isn't just about personal advancement, it's about constructing supportive infrastructures that empower others to thrive alongside you. This insight challenges our conventional understanding of success. We typically measure achievement in individual terms: personal wealth accumulated, status attained, obstacles overcome. But what if the most powerful form of success is collective? What if the true measure of an entrepreneur isn't just what they build for themselves, but what they enable others to build? This perspective aligns beautifully with the core philosophy of soft girl era. the understanding that constantly grinding isn't sustainable or fulfilling. That true strength comes not from carrying everything alone, but from creating communities where burdens are shared and opportunities are multiplied. Janet's research reveals that Black women entrepreneurs intuitively understand this. They're not just building businesses, they're building ecosystems. They're creating networks where resources, knowledge, and opportunities flow freely. They're designing new models of success that challenge the individualistic paradigm that dominates our culture. This approach isn't just morally admirable, it's strategically brilliant. When you're systematically excluded from traditional funding sources, creating alternative support networks isn't just nice, it's necessary for survival. When mainstream markets overlook your community's needs, serving those needs isn't just compassionate, it's a competitive advantage that others have missed. When conventional wisdom says your vision won't succeed, finding others who believe in that vision isn't just emotionally sustaining, it's essential for forward momentum. What these entrepreneurs understand is that the myth of the self made success is just that, a myth. No one succeeds entirely on their own. We all rely on networks, mentors, supporters, and communities. The difference is that these women are making those support systems explicit, intentional, and accessible to others. This insight has profound implications for how we think about business, success, and social change. First, it suggests that our obsession with individual achievement may be limiting our collective potential. When we frame success as a zero sum competition, we miss opportunities for collaboration that could expand possibilities for everyone. Second, it reveals that some of the most innovative business models are emerging from communities that have been systematically excluded from traditional paths to success. Necessity truly is the mother of invention. Third, it challenges the false dichotomy between doing good and doing well. These entrepreneurs are demonstrating that serving underrepresented communities can be both socially impactful and financially rewarding. But perhaps most importantly, this perspective offers a more sustainable, humane vision of entrepreneurship, one that aligns with our deepest values of community, care, and connection. So, where do we go from here? How do we take these insights and transform them into action? I believe we stand at a crossroads. We can continue to celebrate and perpetuate the myth of the lone entrepreneur, or we can embrace a new paradigm, one that recognizes the power of collective achievement. This isn't just about changing how we tell stories, it's about changing how we allocate resources. It's about transforming how we design programs, policies, and institutions. It is about reimagining success itself. For investors, this means looking beyond familiar networks and recognizing that overlooked communities represent not just untapped talent, but untapped markets. For policymakers, this means designing systems that support ecosystem building, not just individual entrepreneurship. For educators, this means teaching collaboration alongside competition, community building alongside personal achievement. And for each of us, regardless of our background or industry, this means asking ourselves, how am I using my success to create opportunities for others? Am I climbing the ladder alone, or am I building new ladders that others can climb alongside me? The stories Janet has uncovered aren't just inspiring, they're revolutionary. They offer us a blueprint for a more equitable, sustainable, and ultimately more successful approach to entrepreneurship. The question isn't whether this approach works. The data clearly shows it does. The question is whether we have the courage to embrace it, to challenge our deeply ingrained notions of success, and to build a new economic paradigm based on collective achievement rather than individual competition. I believe we do. And I believe that when we look back on this moment in history, we'll recognize that it wasn't just about building better businesses, it was about building a better world. Thank you.